Hello, Jordan Johnson with M&M Mortgage here to talk to you about FHA Streamlines. What in the heck is an FHA Streamline loan? An FHA Streamline loan is a refinance product available through the Federal Housing Administration for FHA clients. Okay, so the whole concept here is that the federal government, the FHA, is insuring and protecting your loan for the lenders, and they want to alleviate their risk by potentially offering you more favorable terms if they are available in the marketplace. Okay, so the whole concept of an FHA Streamline is taking a current FHA loan and replacing it with a new one based off of today's terms. Okay, so largely speaking, FHA Streamlines have a couple different things that they look for. First and foremost, because the FHA already insures these loans, they generally do not require an appraisal. Okay, makes it a lot easier to get these loans done, not having to have that additional cost of having the home appraised, not having to worry about the value of the house at all. More or less, again, the FHA already has the liability of your loan on their books, and so they want to make it a little bit easier and less risky for you to obtain these loans. They want you to be in on a better loan overall and alleviate some of their risks. So they don't require that appraisal piece. And another large thing that they generally don't do on an FHA Streamline is they don't make you qualify on your income. Okay. There is a subsidiary product of the FHA Streamline called a credit qualifying streamline, where you do have to qualify on your income based off of what the FHA debt to income requirements are, but that is only if you are removing signers from your existing loan. If you had a joint loan and now you're going to remove one person and only have one person on the loan. So in a situation like that, you do have to credit qualify based off of your income. Okay. Big things on the FHA Streamline. First and foremost, if you've done an FHA loan, if your original loan was done within 36 months, they do prorate the original mortgage insurance premium that you paid up front on your old loan. Okay, they give that as a credit on the new loan. So they do make the upfront cost of the FHA a little bit less by giving you some of the money back that you paid prior. Again, it's prorated if you are doing it within 3 years of that last loan. Okay. In addition to that, one of the biggest things that you have to do as a lender, we have to give you a tangible benefit of dropping your payment at least 5%. Okay, so we have to have a beneficial loan for you. Generally speaking, because of the payment decrease requirement, you're not usually able to cut your term. Again, if you think about the whole concept of an FHA Streamline, they hold risk of these loans. They want the risk to be less. So giving you a higher payment on a shorter term is not necessarily decreasing the risk for the insurance company or for the FHA. Okay, so increasing the payment by shortening the term is not something that you're going to be looking for on an FHA Streamline. You'd have to look for alternative products to do that. One of the biggest things that is a little bit trickier on the FHA Streamline is we get a max mortgage that is pretty much your payoff on your existing loan. Okay, that is usually the most that we can do. It's the principal balance plus up to 60 days of interest plus maybe a month of the mortgage insurance, but more or less it ends up being about the payoff of your existing mortgage. Okay, every single loan that we do generally requires some form of closing costs for the title company. We can do a higher rate to give you credit towards closing costs. You can bring the money into the closing if you'd like to, but it is one of those things on a streamline. There usually is some cash to close involved because our max loan amount is going to be based off of that payoff. Okay, we can't do cash outs on streamlines, and ultimately we're stuck at just not increasing the balance on the loan either. Okay, so a lot of times that ends up having, again, maybe going with a higher rate to get a lender credit, or also looking at bringing some money into the closing. Okay, but again, there's usually a pretty good benefit on an FHA Streamline. There's usually a pretty low risk on being able to acquire one of these loans if it makes sense for you on the refinance side. So if you want to learn more about FHA Streamlines, if you have an existing FHA loan and you want to see if you qualify for one or if there's a benefit to one for you, please reach out to us here at M&M Mortgage, and we'd love to help you out.